Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be running you through a Smurf game recorded by one of our experts, McBaze, where he and his team actually fell super far behind. To get back into it, McBaze made a number of decisions for playing the map to bring his team back into the game, ending in a hard carry. The champion that he plays in this game is Twisted Fate. While the long range ultimate did sometimes play a part in the success of his macro, you'll find that the majority of the decisions that he made can be applied to any champion. Let's get started. In the early game, McBaze's team immediately went 0-4 and the jungler showed up during an all-in, getting McBaze killed in lane as well. A couple of minutes later, McBaze couldn't get the ball rolling against a tanky Galio and even died to another gank. Things were looking grim at this point, and I'm sure that we can all relate to his team wanting to give up. As the game went on, McBaze scored some kills here and there, often dying for them, and as we begin the core part of this video, McBaze has a 5-4-1 score, with his team being 12-21. His team hasn't killed any towers, but they've lost 4 towers themselves. It's fair to say that they are massively behind. At this point, he catches a big wave at the top lane. This is textbook safe play, as he's by his turret with vision in the nearby jungle. But pay attention to what he does after this wave. He starts marching forward in the top lane, completely focused on the minimap. It's easy to fall into the habit loop of staying safe on your side of the map when you fall behind. Maybe you tunnel vision on what's happening in the lane that you're in, holding your breath, hoping no one ganks you from your blind spots. However, McBaze and other higher level players are a little bit different. He does ward the nearby jungle entrance, pretty standard, but more importantly, he's completely fixated on what's happening on the map. With that in our minds, let's play out the next few moments while watching the minimap. Try to identify who could be topside trying to punish him. He's playing against Galio top, Vladimir mid, Ezreal jungle, and a Nami Jhin bot lane. Alright, so that was pretty straightforward. It's just Galio that can be top. This is how easy it is in your own games. If high threat targets were missing on the map, it would be too risky to push beyond this point. However, since it's just Galio that is going to be up here and he alone doesn't have kill threat, it's time to push another wave. So McBaze gets to push another wave, and this is something that the vast majority of players miss out on, because they wouldn't have pushed up this much further in the lane. So the gold is good, but can you think of any other reasons as to why this was so great? The reason why pushing a lane this far up is so great is because McBaze didn't leave it slow pushing towards the enemy turret back here. If he had left the lane early because he was too scared to push up, his minions would have been slow pushing all of the way to the tower or until someone comes and picks it up, killing all of the other minions to get there, missing out on crucial gold and experience that he needs to get back into this one with. So of course there are other factors that you need to keep in mind when pushing this extra wave that most players wouldn't dare to. Minimap awareness is the key to doing it safely, but you will also want to assess the guy that you will actually be meeting in lane. To put it simply, if the person coming up here is someone that can actually kill you, then you probably just want to back off and not push as far out. Anyway, TF backs off after clearing and is now met with a bunch of options. Let's refocus on the minimap and figure out what they are. You can see Ezreal and Nami on the Rift Herald, which is close to him. This opens up option 1. He could go ahead and harass them to disrupt it. Option 2, he could recall, buy, and then walk towards the bot lane where his opponents are pressuring the turret. Option 3, he could just use his ultimate to go bot lane immediately to try and help out. If you were the TF, what would you do and why? So the answer is that he should go with option 3 and just get to the bot lane with his ultimate. The reason why this is the best option is because Galio is top lane, nearby the Ezreal and Nami, so he doesn't want to go and get into a 1v3 situation at Rift Herald. He wants to go towards his teammates where he can work with them and win with numbers. They are behind in items, but with numbers they can still win fights. If he wasn't Twisted Fate with the ultimate to get there faster, then option 2 would have been the right call. Once clearing them up and claiming a double kill, Teemo was kind enough to flame McBaze in chat for not going immediately. With this motivational boost, McBaze is now on another macro mission. He decides to push out the bot lane and move towards the turret. This decision is founded by McBaze paying attention to the minimap and having a great grasp on where everyone is. He knows everyone was just topside near the Rift Herald. He will still want to pay attention to the minimap, and he spots Ezreal and Nami along the way, once again only leaving the possibility that Galio could come down. He kills the bot lane turret. Great, this is the first turret for his team. It's good for gold, but even more importantly, killing these outer turrets are incredibly important for another reason, and is to do with macro. Whenever you push out a lane and you're downing turrets like this, the wave will bounce back way faster to you because the wave can never push further than the turrets that are still standing. This forces you and your team to constantly split up and get on wave control duty, increasing the chance of you getting picked off and outnumbered in fights, which, as we know in solo queue, these chances are already high. So killing this turret is important. Defending top turret right now is unimportant. His teammates are going up there, but it's a Rift Herald as well, so top turret is likely going down. So with this tower dead, what next? Looking at the waves, they're about even in the middle, but it's small on both sides. Bot is pushing however, so it's likely that someone on the enemy team will go and pick that up. Expecting this to happen, the best play right now is to go and group with his team. By doing so, he'll have a chance of being in a fight with a numbers advantage while someone collects the bot lane wave. This is what people mean when they talk about using wave pressure. Once recalling, he begins pathing topside to find that fight. However, a fight already breaks out and ends before he gets there. Time to go mid. This was a great idea though, and the sound logic behind the decision nearly paid off. Push bot, Vlad is now bot, path towards his team where he can look for a favoured fight. Didn't work out this time, but it had all of the potential. Once clearing the wave, TF places a ward in the lane. If you've ever wondered if there's anything to this, then there is. When placing these lane wards, it's not just for vision in lane for when your waves aren't around, but it's also great to place them near jungle entrances. This will allow you and your team to see which side of the jungle that your opponents enter. A fight begins to break out in the bot side jungle. There's a whole lot of things that we could teach here, but let's focus on why McBaze took this fight and the logic behind it. Again, numbers. More men in your group fights are always more favourable, but when you're behind, they're almost a necessity. Ezreal died to the top fight, and Vladimir is bot, and Galio is right here with Jhin nearby. This is a potential 3v3, but his opponents are scattered, while McBaze's team is not. In general, when you're taking random fights in your jungle, your team is likely to naturally reinforce faster. Let's take a look. Yeah, they basically funneled in one by one, and the throwing truly begins. McBaze is orchestrating which fights to take, where to go, and when, coming back purely with macro from a seemingly lost game. This is a macro comeback, not flashy mechanical outplays, just being where he should be at the right moments. At this point, the natural objective is of course the mid lane turret. With 2 players on the enemy team down, cracking down these outer turrets is incredibly important, like we said earlier. Let's run through some quick sieging tips. So imagine that you're one of the players on Team Blue. You're sieging the turret, trying to make something happen to snowball this comeback. What are the glaring time constraints for your siege at this very moment? There are 2 things to be worried about here. The obvious one is the death timer on your opponent because you want to get work done while they're dead. The more subtle and equally important thing is that the side lane waves are huge. It's critical to not die on the siege and also to make sure that you go ahead and get those side waves in time. If TF dies here, he misses out on a ton of experience in CS. While his team should extend and possibly even dive or force a play, TF's number 1 priority should be to stay alive and make sure he gets those side waves once he's done in the mid lane. Anyway, after a lot of shuffling around and harassing, alongside a flash to try and force something, they didn't manage to get work done on the tower. McBaze was waiting for a dive from Braum and for Shen to, well, not be jungling to make something happen. Oh well, after a quick fight where Xayah goes down, time to back off, recall and catch these side waves. After getting the top wave, McBaze has gotten 2 levels ahead of Galio, which is crazy. Crazy proof that macro gets results. McBaze has been catching so many waves and pressuring the right places at the right times, and has evened out this game. McBaze then continued to follow the concepts that we've been teaching throughout the game, and in the end he had an 18-4 score, after that super rough start for him and his team. In the end, you could argue that things were a bit easier in some areas because he was Twisted Fate, but overall his decisions were one that you can make on any mid lane champion, and turn the tides. So that concludes our first mid lane macro video. That brings us to the end of this video. Have any questions that you want answered? Join the discussion below. Thanks for watching.